I'm Doug DeForest.
And I'm Jamie Allen.
And welcome to this year's version of FNBC's Spring River Scene.
Did you like last season?
I did. You know, we shot at Forster Home Center.
Yes,
it was great. But you have a different idea.
I do.
What is
and
it?
It's all mine. We are actually going to go out on location.
Wow.
We are going to take our viewers out into the Spring River area and show them. Not just talk about it, but show them what there is out there. I think they're going to enjoy it. I think it's going to be a good season.
I think so. So y'all stick around for FNBC's Spring River Scene.
FNBC, your key to community banking in the Ozarks, presents Spring River Scene. Arkansas events with Doug, Jamie, and friends. A show that captures the finest of Spring River country in Arkansas. It's people, fun, music, entertainment, recreation, and all the things that make Spring River country great. For a day or for a lifetime. And now, here's your hosts, Doug DeForest and Jamie Allen.
Can you believe where we are?
No, I love it.
Like the epicenter of power at the Mammoth Spring Park.
I know.
And guess what?
What?
Park Superintendent Dave Jackson, he's going to come in and show us how to do it.
All right.
There he is.
Hey, what are you guys doing up there?
Well,
you can get up there.
Hey, what? But there's a staircase.
We'll be right back. Maybe we can...
From the first time you enter one of FNBC's convenient locations, you're going to notice one important thing. Your business as well as your happiness is the most important thing to us, no matter how big or how small. You see, we believe you're never too young to learn to save.
Can you put this in my piggy bank account, please?
A piggy bank account with FNBC, your first key to a bright future.
FNBC, your key to community banking, member FDIC. Floorcom is your one-stop for unique gift items, floor arrangements, and products at wholesale prices. And don't forget the only place in Spring River Country to get Dippin' Dots. Floorcom, unique gifts, flower arrangements, and more on the 4-lane in Highland. Phone 856-5500. That's Floorcom.
Your home for convenience on the 4-lane is Red Mule Food Mart. We have the best pizza in Spring River Country, and our price starts at just $5. So fill up your car, fill up your belly, and get your party on right here at the Red Mule Food Mart on the 4-lane at the south entrance of Cherokee Village in Highland.
Hi, I'm Matt Forsler, and welcome to Forsler Home Center.
If it's for your home, chances are good Forsler Home Center has it. Forsler carries the finest furnishings as well as lawnmowers, weed eaters, tools, and supplies for any fixer-upper project. Yes, we know you love your home, and at Forsler, we love it just as much as you. That's why we say Forsler Home Center has it all. Forsler Home Center, Ash Flat Thayer.
Welcome back to this week's Spring River Scene. I'm Doug DeForest.
And I'm Jamie Allen.
And look at our new friend we have.
Yes.
It's the park superintendent here at Mammoth Spring State Park, Dave Jackson. And Dave, it's good to have you here.
Yes,
Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
Now, you know, Jamie and I were talking before we started shooting, and she said that she didn't grow up here, which I grew up north of here and would come back and forth all the time, so I was always intrigued by the spring.
Yeah.
And this is one of your first visits to the park, right, Jamie?
Well, no, not necessarily my first visit to the park. My kids have with the school programs, they've come. They've done like the field trips and whatnot. I've been here a couple of times, but I have not been I've never been inside, I'm sorry to say, the gift shop. This is amazing.
Yeah.
I love
well,
it.
You love gift shops. So tell us, Dave, what was the process in this becoming a state park, and how long ago did that happen?
Okay. Well, we'll go back even before state park designation. Back in around 1820s was when white settlement came to this area. And they began with development of an early grist mill and early settlers along the river. You know, people are attracted to water by nature for drinking water, for hunting opportunities, that
right.
sort of thing. And then later for transportation using waterways. So they
you
were
said
naturally drawn.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Sure.
You said white settlement.
Yes.
So what was it before that?
Well, Native Americans lived here.
Okay.
Really, the Osage Indians were here prior to white settlers, and they actually lived mostly in south central Missouri, but they used this area for hunting grounds.
They said the Osage is primarily known around Jefferson City, Missouri.
Yes.
But they came down here to hunt.
They did. We had real good hunting areas down here.
What was the average thing they would hunt for here? Were it mostly beaver or?
Well, things that are attracted around water from this area: white-tailed deer, beaver. Whatever opportunities were there.
How was were there bears?
Yes,
There
they
were
were black bears,
Wow.
yes. And there still are a few, but
Yeah.
they were
I've
more
heard that.
abundant back then.
Well, I've heard that Game and Fish has been repopulating the black bear population here.
That's what I've
Neighbor
heard
of mine
too.
saw that.
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. That's,
So tell us, when was the dam built on the spring?
Okay, well, the dam was built. We'll kind of fast forward now to the 1880s. That is our kind of age of development, you might say. In the 1880s, they began building the construction of a dam, limestone dam. It was hand quarried limestone brought from a local quarry, and they paid people to bring them in by these blocks by cart and buggy,
Wow.
or horse-drawn carts, actually.
Wonder how heavy each stone
Oh,
was.
gosh.
Any idea?
They're very heavy, yeah.
Yeah, Jamie couldn't carry one.
Tons.
yes, I could.
You think you could?
Yeah.
I haven't seen your
Which
guns.
we'll actually be cutting to that in a minute, right?
With you carrying stones to the dam.
Absolutely, yes.
No, so and I understand the dam originally was built as a power site. Is that correct? One of the first power sites?
No, well, it was power, but not hydroelectric power, but hydropower. They could,
So I thought that was the purpose of a dam, was for power. No?
Well, but in the 1880s, I guess power wasn't that prevalent, right? I mean, as far as like lighting.
Water power.
Yeah,
water power. They put in factories and stuff using a series of pulleys and shafts connected off.
I got
of the,
okay.
off
To
of the
run the
dam.
saws or whatever.
Right,
yeah.
exactly. There
Yeah.
was two large factories that were put in here. One was a cotton mill for textiles, and the other was a roller mill for grinding flour or wheat into flour.
Oh,
So,
see.
and then later it was a shoe factory. They could even use the
Cobble shoes.
Now I like
yeah,
that.
they could make shoes.
You love shoes.
That's interesting.
Let me ask you this. Now we're going to take a look at the power at the generator later. I know. What year did that come into existence?
Okay,
here?
1925. Now the dam was built in 1888, and by 1925 the hydroelectric technology was up to speed. So they decided that rather than using these shafts and pulleys and whatnot, they would use electricity. They would generate that for the town of Mammoth Spring and about 5 other communities right in the
Wow.
area. So it was a pretty big thing for them, and was able to bring electricity to the area.
So this is the first area in the Ozarks that had electricity.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that, no. But by 1925, the development started on it. By 1927, they were pumping out electricity.
I bet the residents here were pretty doggone happy about that.
Yeah, of course, the electrical needs weren't anything then like they are now.
Right.
So they might have just a few lights in their houses versus...
Well, I tell you what we're
But
going to
it
do.
met their needs.
Yeah.
Yes,
I got
it
it.
did.
We're going to take a short break, and then when we do, we're going to move out to the generator. I want you to explain that to me, if that's all right with you.
Okay, I'll do my best.
All right, and we'll be right back with Spring River Scene. This is really informative,
This is cool.
folks. We'll be right back with more Spring River Scene.
She handed me the honeydew list. She said there won't be no Bass Pro trips. So tell your hunting buddies, Mama done got tough. I do the laundry, I wash the car, get on the John Deere mowing yard, turn off that football game, and if that ain't enough, well, I won't moon the neighbors when I'm working on my truck. I promise I'll cuddle after you know what. I quit watching some of those hunting shows. I'll take you out for dinner every Friday night, hold you when the soap opera makes you cry. If you would only let me go, Bass Pro. Oh, let's pick it now. Now listen here, honey. I've been drinking and chewing that snuff. Go to church with you and I won't cuss. And give back that bird dog you hate, old Bubba gave me. I'll yank my deer head off of the wall, so when your mama comes to call, the 8-pointer won't be watching you all sip tea. Yeah, and I won't moon the neighbors when I'm working on the truck. I promise I'll cuddle after you know what. And I quit watching some of those hunting shows. I'll take you out for dinner every Friday night, hold you when a soap opera makes you cry.
Tommy Hair Figures is the full-service salon located on the 4-lane in Ash Flat. Yes, at Tommy Hair Figures, we do hair, but we're also a full-service salon. Nails, pedicure, manicure, and a fantastic massage await you. Phone 994-7007 for Tommy Hair Figures. What sets Ivy Automotive and Tire apart from the competition? Try 30 years from the same location and people you can count on for quality services at a great price. Stop by Ivy's on the 4-lane in Highland or call 856-2422 for all your car needs. That's Ivy Automotive and Tire.
Welcome back to Spring River Scene.
Yes, welcome back. We are now in actually the generator house.
That's why we hear that
of
noise.
the dam.
That's right.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about what we've got going on in here.
Okay, well, as you said, you're in the generator room, and the hydroelectricity was generated from 1927 to 1972, and as we mentioned earlier, it provided power for Mammoth Spring, Arkansas, Thayer, Missouri, and about 4 other communities in the area. Now, inside this building, we still have the remains of all of the equipment that was in use at that time, with the largest structure being behind us over here where the generator is, and that's the turbine. There's a turbine that is connected to the shaft, and it turns like a large water wheel, and as it turns that generator, that is the motor that converts it into electricity.
So about how many houses could this generator service, do you think? Did they ever say?
No, I wouldn't. I would hate to guess that, but if I had to guess, I would probably say around 500 or so.
Because the power grid, we'll be looking at it here in a minute, the power grid off to our side here is really quite small by today's standards.
It is, and it's a lot more efficient now, the technology that they have, but back then, this was cutting-edge stuff in 1925,
Right.
1927.
Yeah, it was suitable for what it needed.
Yeah, Edison would have thought it rocked.
Absolutely.
He would have been all there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, now let's cut away, and I want you to show us this generator and tell us how that works, because a lot of people, they hear about power generation, they don't really understand it. So we're going to move towards the generator.
Okay. If we look at this diagram here, it shows the generator on the top and the shaft that's connected down into the turbine well. And that turbine or water wheel is what actually turns. And in order to turn that, we have to raise the stop log gates, which is over here in this area. These gates will raise up, allow water to flow underneath, and it will turn this wheel right here. And when the wheel turns, it's connected into the shaft and forces the motor to turn up here in the generator. And when that happens, the generator is what actually creates the electricity. It's the motor. And then there are instrumentation panels, which are over to your left, and they're not going to be on the diagram here. And that's what they would do to regulate. They would monitor that to regulate the flow of electricity, because they did not want to blow electronics or appliances from people's houses. Just like today, you don't want to create too much electricity, which might blow someone's television set. They wouldn't be too happy about that. So that's pretty much how it works. There are a few other little things, such as the tank that holds the oil, this shaft that's spinning, that needs to stay lubricated. And so they have an oil tank for that and a governor which regulates the speed that the generator is turning. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
It's kind of cool to have the noise back there, because it tells you kind of what was going on, not to mention this baby, which would make some noise, correct?
Right, yeah, you would, if this was in operation, we probably wouldn't want to be standing this close to it.
Can I ask you something about the bottom of the generator? Was there paddles? Were there some hillbilly for there? Were there paddles in the turbine down here at the bottom? Or?
No, it's just a water wheel that would turn.
So the water would be in that cylinder?
No, actually there's a whole other room underneath here that's almost this large.
They might have at one point, not somebody.
Don't go away. Spring River Scene will return after this word from our sponsors. Rebel Station at the stoplight in Hardy, Arkansas is your first stop for ethanol-free gasoline. We also have one of the widest selections of wine in the area. Looking for craft beer? We've got that too. A large selection of Amish gifts? homemade ice cream, floating and fishing supplies, and more. That's the Rebel at the stoplight in Hardy.
Tri-County Farm Supply is more than just a farm store. We have aisle after aisle of high-quality gifts, jeans, western wear, and more at great prices, not to mention all your feed and farm needs. We're Tri-County, your locally owned one-stop shop in the Ozarks on the 4-lane in Ash Flat.
From the minute a medical emergency occurs, precious moments are all that separate life and death. In that moment, you can count on Air Evac. As a member of the Air Medcare Network, Air Evac serves residents from numerous locations and understands the critical aspect of time and treatment. Membership starts at just $65 per household and automatically enrolls you in all 5 Air Medcare programs across 28 states. In Missouri, call Kevin Gorski at 417-293-2535 and in Arkansas, Chris Mackey at 870-219-6896 to enroll. Air Evac, when seconds count. New from Triple R Bail Bonds, a revolutionary new app that makes Triple R your one-stop shop for all your bail bond needs. If you have an iPhone or Android, be sure to download their free app today. Triple R is the only bail company in Arkansas that offers this app complete with a panic button that alerts Triple R immediately if you are in need of their services. Triple R is the friendliest and most professional company in Arkansas that offers you help through every step of the process. Call owners Jeremy and Pamela at 257-2282 and download Triple R Bail Bonds free app today for all your bail bond needs.
Okay, so we are still now exploring the state park here at Mammoth Spring, and we are now at the Big Gun Monument. And can you tell us a little bit about that, Dave?
Okay. Well, what you're looking at here is a 4.5 ordnance rifle, and it was a cannon used during the Civil War, and it was used on the Union side. It was part of the Grand Army of the Republic used this, and it was used for siege and garrison or bombardment of walls, forts, houses, that sort of thing. This was the largest piece of Civil War artillery that was used in the field. Now, there was larger artillery, but it was not on a carriage that was mobile. So this was a very feared weapon during the Civil War.
And you were saying earlier, tell us about what you were telling us earlier about the possibility of it still being an active piece of machinery.
Okay. Yeah, we've checked with the National Park Service, and they have advised us not to fire this piece anymore. It's not really safe to fire. We have a department cannon that we can take around to events and fire, but it's a 3-inch ordnance rifle, which is a little smaller version of this same gun. But the reason we have this cannon here, it's kind of odd to just have a cannon in a state park, but following the Civil War was over in 1865, and there was a lot of animosity still in this area between the North and the South. And so now you fast forward, it's 1890, and the locals decide they need to start having some sort of reunions to try and get along a little bit better. So the first reunion was held in 1890. It was called the Reunion of the Blue and Gray. And by 1893, they could see that this event was going to be an annual successful event. So they requested from the U.S. War Department to have some sort of a piece of artillery to help them commemorate their reunion each year. And this is the piece that they received, was this ordnance rifle. And it arrived on railroad tracks at our depot in 1893, and it took 8 men to unload the cannon barrel. Now, it didn't have a carriage then, it was the barrel only. 8 men to unload it. It weighs 3,500 pounds. It's very heavy, almost as much as an automobile. And they made a homemade carriage for it that was in use for several years. And then later on, they put it in a permanent concrete mount with no wheels. And then about 4 or 5 years ago, we were able to get grant monies through the Arkansas Natural Resource Council to fund a reproduction carriage, and that's what you see it mounted on now.
Well, it's a very neat thing to see, and I'm sure.
Jamie, I want to shoot this puppy.
Yes, Doug.
I
Well,
want to shoot this puppy.
you can't shoot this puppy.
Something going on here, though. I don't think this is going to let us do it.
That might be a problem for you.
When's the last time it was fired?
He might be the problem for you.
It was last fired probably in the 1920s.
Wow, so it's probably kind of the powder's kind of.
Yeah, we cleaned it, but I still wouldn't recommend firing that.
We might could just let Doug load it up and stand back there, and we'll move away and let him try.
Let's see how he does with some fireworks.
How about a human cannonball? Can you fit in there?
Yeah, no.
No. Let's move on to the headwaters.
Sounds good to me.
So it's kind of noisy here, but that's okay because we're at the headwaters of Mammoth Spring.
Yes.
How much water is coming out of here, Dave?
Well, we have almost 234 million gallons of water per day, almost 234 million. That breaks down to just under 10 million gallons of water per hour. So it's a significant amount of water coming through.
Where does it start?
Well, that's a good question. The U.S.
Not South Dakota?
Not South Dakota, no. It is in Missouri, but it's kind of hard just to nail down exactly where the starting point is. The U.S. Geological Survey has done different dye tracings that have shown connection points by injecting dye in one spot. Like the furthest one that I know that was injected was about 33 miles away, and then about 3, 4, 5 days later it shows up in the spring, and they can detect it and they know that there's a connection.
Now there was rumor when I was growing up, sorry to interrupt you, that
No, you're fine.
I was raised in southern Missouri, okay, and in southern Missouri, Current River's there, which is like Spring River in a lot of ways.
Right.
We were told that Welch Cave and this had some similarity. Have you ever heard of that? Or Welch Cave is a big spring in Missouri.
Okay, no, but there are a lot of springs in southern Missouri, and this one almost was in southern Missouri. We're just right on the state line.
Where is the state line?
It's at the top of the hill, just about 2 blocks from here.
Wow. This is great, huh?
I know, it is great. When you were saying the dye, that all happens underground.
Underground, yes. This is an area known as karst topography, which means it has a lot of limestone, bedrock, which will cause it to have sinkholes and caves. And you'll see a significant number of those in this area.
This is connected to the Grand Gulf, correct?
Yes, the closest connection point underground to Mammoth Spring is Grand Gulf State Park. It's located about 7 miles northwest of here.
We might have to go up there.
We might. This is gorgeous. I'm in love with it.
Dave, we want to thank you for your time today.
I'm Ian Driesel. I'm the 2-minute chef, and today I want to show you how to prep vegetables. When you're peeling a carrot, it's important that you keep the carrot on the cutting board to keep it stable, and you can peel it a lot faster. Keep your trash can right next to you so that you can move straight into your trash can and clean up your mess as you go. Flip it over. Peel carrot. Now when you're cutting the carrot, just to make it easier to work with, of course you cut off the end. I would cut it in half, and that just makes it easier. Keeps it from rolling around. When you cut, you need to make a claw with your hand and put your thumb behind the claw, and then rest the blade of the knife up against your fingers. Cut. Alright, for mincing garlic, what I have here is a head of freshly peeled garlic, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start running my knife through that as fast as I can. And as I go, I'm just going to keep on sweeping that up into a pile and take the excess off my knife. Start running through it again. And when you scrape your cutting board, if you flip your knife over and you scrape your cutting board with the back edge of your knife, you won't dull up your knife the whole time you're cutting. It'll save you from having to sharpen it. Alright, now once you got that small pieces, take a little salt. Sprinkle a little salt over the top. Take your knife blade and just kind of smash the garlic into the cutting board. Kind of go back and forth. It'll bring all that oil out. There's your minced garlic. Okay, to cut an onion, to dice an onion, cut off the tip, leave the root ball on, cut it in half, take the peeling off. Lay the onion with the top side facing to your cutting hand. Slice horizontally through the onion. I do about 3 times. Move the top of the onion toward you. Cut 1/4-inch slices without cutting through this root, because the root is what holds the whole thing together. Slide the top facing your cutting hand again. And just go 1/4 inch one more time. Perfectly diced onion.
Spring River Scene, made possible by FNBC, your key to community banking. While in Spring River Country, our guests stay at the beautiful Old Stone House in Hardy, Arkansas. Phone 856-2983. Catering provided by Words and Afterwards, Hardy, Arkansas. Phone 856-5579.